Hi there, welcome to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by. My channel is all about digging into the traditional classical method of Pilates and getting the most out of the exercises, whether you're a teacher or an enthusiast. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Today I have a little bit of a chatty rant. I understand that you're enjoying these sort of discussions around the Pilates exercises and the method. So if you'd like to see more chatty rants, or if there's a topic you'd like me to chat and rant about, let's talk about it in the conversation in the comments. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the idea of cues versus corrections. And there's a blog post that I wrote a little while ago about Pilates language, and I will link it below. And in it I discuss why I don't really enjoy the word cue. And so let's start with a couple of definitions. The definition of the word cue is it's a noun. It's a thing that's said or done that serves as a signal to an actor or another performer to enter or to begin their speech or performance. And the second definition is really what I like the most. It's a signal for action. And the third definition, a piece of information or circumstance that aids the memory in retrieving details that are not recalled spontaneously. Okay. So that's a little bit why I don't like the word cue, because I feel like I shouldn't be making you act and making you do your exercises. It's your workout, and I'm there to help improve the quality, the execution, the safety, and the repertoire of your exercises. And so I really like the word correction. And let's talk about the definition of the word correction. So the word correction, there's a few definitions that are really not for our purpose, as like a stock market correction and that sort of thing. However, the main definition is the action or process of correcting something, which you're improving the quality of, and a change that rectifies an error or inaccuracy. And that's what I really feel like we as Pilates guides are there to do. We're improving the quality, the execution. We're correcting any inaccuracies of choreography or safety that's been forgotten. And so I really prefer to use the word correction. And it's come to my attention just by sort of living in the Pilates world and being on Instagram that often I get the sense, and my apologies if this sounds like you, because I am only trying to kind of understand where everyone is coming from. I kind of get the feeling that sometimes people are looking for the perfect words that are going to make the exercise better. That if they could only think of exactly what to say, that they can use that with everyone. And maybe that's a generalization on my part. Maybe that's not actually what the thought process is. And I'm here to say that collecting a cue in sort of a vacuum, let's say, may have nothing to do with what the person that you're speaking to is doing. And I kind of feel like collecting a cue, I'm using my hands an awful lot, collecting a cue doesn't exist in the same world as what you're seeing in front of you. And I know we've all been in training programs and we've asked questions, and the answer, of course, is it depends. It depends on the body in front of you. And I know that sometimes that's like, oh, we roll our eyes at that, like, oh, of course, right, the body in front of us. But I urge you to look at the repetitions of the exercises and observe the movement and see what the person does before cueing them to act or correcting what they do. Because that watching is actually going to give you so much information about what is going on in their body that you want to say something about. And that's really the purpose of why we have repetitions. Each one is better than the next. No, erase that. Each one should be better than the previous one. And then once some things are in place, after like 3 or 5, we move on because we've worked as efficiently as we can in minimal repetitions, and then we have another exercise. And there's a lot to be said for the power of watching, because an observed body, just by the very fact that it is being observed, is changing. And sometimes, you know, the repetitions, the first one, it's always a disaster. And then the next one is a little bit better. And I always feel like, you know, the exercises that there are 3 of, I always feel like either 3, by the 3rd one, I'm exhausted and it's terrible, like the horseback on the reformer. Or conversely, it could also be that by the 3rd one, you actually get 1 good one. And maybe you even do 2 more because you're like, I just got a good one. Let's do another. So see what you think about watching at least the first repetition of something before adding some feedback. You know, we've all been in that situation where we say something and it just gets worse and we're like, it was so much better before I said anything. And I know the exercises that have 3, you know, you can't watch too many or the exercise is over. But that's okay too. If you sort of observe and you see and, you know, they're on to the next exercise and you kind of make a mental note of what you noticed, and maybe it applies to other exercises too. I bet it will. But back to the selection of the perfect cue for something, always consider that we as teachers are individuals who are instructing clients and students who are also individuals. So a blanket cue may work for certain people, but it may not go anywhere with someone. So I always feel like, now that I'm thinking about it, I used to feel like I would get something that I thought in my mind, you know, in like the vacuum of my mind, was a really, really good correction, and it just fell flat, you know, like I would say it and it went nowhere. And I sort of thought, well, maybe that's not really a good thing to say. But then often I would say it to someone and it worked really well. And then I thought, okay, I just don't know who this correction is for. And I've been saying it to the wrong people. So that's another thing. If you have something that resonates with you and you say it to someone and it doesn't go anywhere, it might be a myriad of reasons why. It's not, they're at a different level and it doesn't make any sense to them, or, you know, that's usually the case. I feel like sometimes sometimes I give a correction to someone and it's just like, you know, it's in like the nerd stratosphere and that person is not kind of on board. So save those. They'll be good for someone, I promise. This was a bit of a rambly chatty rant, I gotta say. So if you have questions or comments, let's talk about this, because this is something that we do all day long, is offer people advice on how to better the exercises. So I'll join you in the conversation in the comments for this one. If you'd like to see more videos like this, do subscribe, use the bell icon. You'll be notified every time I publish a new video. And thank you so much for watching. I'm cruising way past 5,000 subscribers. I could not do this without you. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have someone to talk to as I stay in my home in the middle of 2020. So thanks so much. Stay safe out there. Bye.